Hello, and welcome to the TUSD Lab Safety Fundamentals and Chemical Hygiene Plan Training, Part 1. The following slides will give you a brief overview of laboratory safety fundamentals for safety of chemicals and lab equipment to help protect your students and yourself while working in the laboratory. The Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, requires all laboratory instructors to receive a laboratory safety fundamentals session. At the end of this brief session, you should be familiar with TUSD's general safety procedures, teacher and student safety in the laboratory, specific safety precautions involving chemicals and lab equipment, and laboratory practices. In addition, you will be given the numbers to call to ask any general safety questions you may have. Science is a process of discovering and exploring the natural world through classroom lecture and experiments. As part of your science class, you will be doing many activities and investigations that will involve the use of various materials, equipment, and chemicals. Safety in the science classroom or laboratory is the first priority for students and instructors. At TUSD, safety is a priority. It is divided into both the employer and employee responsibilities. The employer is responsible to provide a safe working environment, and the employee is responsible to report any unsafe conditions or acts they see. Remember, this lab safety and chemical hygiene plan is only a source of information. You're the one who has to put the knowledge it gives you to work. The ultimate responsibility to be safe is with you. We're going to divide the laboratory safety into two parts, student safety and teacher safety. Let's start with student safety. The laboratory setting is filled with many hazards. Mischievous behavior, throwing items, and conducting pranks are prohibited. Read your lab safety information and procedures to the students before beginning of each lesson. Students should never sit on laboratory tables. Eating, drinking, gum chewing, applying cosmetics, manipulating contact lenses, and other unsafe activities are not permitted in the laboratory. Students should never work in the laboratory without an instructor present. Students are prohibited from doing unauthorized activities or investigations, entering chemical preparation rooms, or chemical storage areas. Students should never remove chemicals or equipment from the classroom or laboratory unless authorized by the instructor. Now, let's look at teacher safety. Teachers should ensure that chemical splash goggles or safety glasses as appropriate are worn during activities or demonstrations in the classroom, including pre-laboratory work and cleanup. When an activity requires the use of laboratory aprons, the apron shall be an appropriate size of the teacher or student. An instructor should dress appropriately for laboratory work on laboratory days by protecting your body with clothing and shoes. This means that you should use hair ties to tie back long hair. Do not wear loose or baggy clothing or dangling jewelry. Acrylic nails can also be a safety hazard near heat sources and should not be used. Sandals or open-toed shoes are not to be worn during any lab activities. In your laboratory, know the location of all safety equipment in the room. This includes eye wash stations, the safety shower, fire extinguishers, and so on. Know the location of exits. In some cases, it may also be necessary to know where the electric and gas shutoffs are located. All accidents, chemical spills, and injuries must be dealt with immediately by the instructor, no matter how trivial they may seem at the time. Follow your normal student accident reporting procedures if a student is hurt or injured. Follow your normal worker compensation procedures if you are hurt. Should a fire drill, lockdown, or other emergency occur during laboratory work or activities, make sure you turn off all gas burners and electrical equipment. During an evacuation emergency, follow school exit procedures. The eye wash station and the safety shower need to be flushed on a monthly basis. The normal way to flush the safety shower is to hold a bucket around the shower head, turn on the water, let it fill the bucket around half full, turn off the water, then dump the water down the sink. The eye wash station can be flushed with a similar method that was used on the shower. The eye wash stations and/or the safety shower will need to have proof that they were checked and flushed on a monthly basis. Create and maintain a log and attach to the eye wash station and shower station. Each month, sign and date that you have checked the eye wash and shower stations. The fire marshal will inspect this log during school inspections. Certain classrooms may have living organisms including plants and aquariums or other containers. Students may not handle organisms without specific instructor authorization. Wash your hands with soap and water after handling organisms and plants. As a laboratory instructor, you are expected to set up and maintain your safety data sheet or SDS binder for your classroom or laboratory. Have your SDS binder available in the lab for future reference. A school's SDS binder is a subpart of the Hazard Communication or HAZCOM program and is required by federal and state law. You will need to review the pertinent points of any SDSs for the hazardous chemicals students will be working with. If your laboratory is used by a team of teachers that share, you can share your SDS binder. Now, let's look at specific safety precautions involving chemicals and lab equipment. Work areas should be kept clean and neat at all times. Work surfaces are to be cleaned at the end of each lab or activity. Never fill pipettes by mouth suction. Always use the suction bulbs or pumps. Do not force glass tubing into rubber stoppers. Use glycerin or other lubricants and hold the tubing with a towel as you ease the rubber stopper onto the glass tubing. When using a sharp tool, always cut away from yourself. Treat all sharp instruments with care. Care shall be taken when using any heating or flame-producing device, especially gas burners. Never leave a flame unattended. When stirring or mixing solutions, use a glass stirring rod. Waft fumes toward your nose by waving your hand over the mouth of the container if checking the smell of a chemical. Always pour acid into water, never pour water into acid. Never point the open end of a heated test tube toward yourself or anyone else. Do not use cracked, chipped, scored, or badly scratched glassware. Glassware is to be washed with hot, soapy water and scrubbed with the appropriate type and size brush, rinsed, dried, and returned to its original location. Remember that hot glass looks the same as cold glass. After heating, glass remains hot for a very long time. Determine if an object is hot by placing your hand close to the object but not touching it. Put the top back on any chemical container or bottle as soon as you have finished using it and return the chemical container or bottle to its designated location. All chemical containers must be legibly labeled so that anyone who uses the chemical will be able to tell what's in the container. Learn the names of the equipment and glassware you use in the lab room so there are no misunderstandings. Return unused chemicals to the chemical storage area. The use of a flammable storage cabinet is greatly recommended. If the chemical is no longer needed, do not put it in the chemical storage area. It will become a hazard. Put in a work order to have the chemical picked up and disposed of. Sinks are to be used for the disposal of water and those solutions deemed suitable for sink disposal. One very common piece of laboratory equipment is the Bunsen burner. Burns are a common consequence from using Bunsen burners. Some simple steps can be taken in the event of a burn while in the laboratory. A. The burn skin has to be cooled down. Hold the burn skin under cool, not cold running water, or immerse in cool water until pain subsides. B. The burn skin needs to be protected from further damage. C. Have the student go to the nurse's office. And D. The nurse can then advise the student. Other burns that could happen in the classroom or laboratory are chemical burns. As previously mentioned, all sites with chemicals present are required to have a site-specific SDS binder with current SDSs of each chemical used. The SDS binder exists to protect students and employees from exposure to potential chemical hazards at TUSD sites. In the event of a chemical burn, you will need to consult the particular SDS of the chemical involved for first aid procedures and to see if the chemical is compatible with water, as not all chemicals can be rinsed with water because they may cause a chemical reaction and worsen the burn. The Arizona School Risk Retention Trust, or commonly called the Trust, is TUSD's insurance carrier and as such has given TUSD the following chemical safety precautions. The use of flammable storage cabinets are greatly recommended. It is best to segregate chemicals in the following manner. Store acids in a dedicated acid cabinet. Store nitric acid alone. Store highly toxic chemicals in a dedicated lockable poison cabinet that has been labeled with a highly visible sign. Store volatile and odoriferous chemicals in a cabinet or ventilated cabinet. Store water-sensitive chemicals in a watertight cabinet in a cool and dry location, segregated from all other chemicals. The Trust also states the following information about flammable storage cabinets. Cabinets can be vented, if possible, per school design, to mitigate the buildup of hazardous vapors. The school would need to contact TUSD Engineering for more information about this. As far as water-sensitive chemicals, it is a best practice to store water-sensitive chemicals in a watertight cabinet in a cool and dry location, segregated away from water and aqueous chemicals. Store and secure gas cylinders in the following manner. Locate cylinders away from flames or sparks, chain to the wall so they cannot fall, and remove the regulator when the cylinder is not in use and put on the metal cap. Some storage don'ts include: don't expose stored chemicals to direct heat or sunlight, or to highly variable temperatures, and don't store chemicals with food or drink or in teacher food refrigerators. Don't store chemicals on shelves above eye level, especially corrosives. Don't place heavy items, liquid chemicals, or large containers on high shelves. Don't store chemicals on the floor, even temporarily, and don't store items on bench tops or in fume hoods, except of course when the hood is in use. You can view some additional resources by following the links seen here. In conclusion, as previously stated at the beginning of this presentation, this was a brief overview of laboratory safety fundamentals for safety of chemicals and lab equipment to help protect your students and yourself while working in the laboratory. To recap this presentation, in part 1 of this 2-part series, we explained TUSD lab safety fundamentals and chemical hygiene plan, which included OSHA, laboratory safety fundamentals, and general safety procedures required by all laboratory instructors. We then went through some of the student and teacher laboratory safety practices, some specific safety precautions involving chemicals, and some of the TRUST laboratory guidelines. Here is our contact information. Please call if you have any further questions or if you want more information on the previous subjects. Please contact or call the Science Innovation Team Science Resource Center in the Curriculum Department office at 225-4681 or the Risk Management Department at 225-6601. Thank you. Congratulations! You have completed the video portion of this training module. Now, head to topic number 2 and pass the quiz with an 80% or higher to receive credit for taking this course.